Monday to Sunday, we call that money day. We catching pips, but we only count percent gain. The capital, come, learn, interact, trade.
And welcome to another session of Lit Cap No Cap podcast, bringing you the unfiltered vibes of the forex industry, but more specifically the financial markets. What we're here to do today is just give you guys a big insight to how the investment market and how the markets from a business perspective has been affected with COVID. As you guys could all agree, a lot of things have happened which have, put people into positions that they never foresaw, and more importantly, putting people in positions that they can't really get out of. So accompanied with us today on the show, we have, as usual, the co-founder, my business partner, Jay.
What's good, bro?
Money
Happy
Day.
to be here, man.
We also got Lit Cap Nath in the building.
What's happening, guys? Hope everyone's well.
We got to hear your intro, bro. What's your intro, Mr. What?
Oh, Mr. Too Dark and Determined to Make Change.
That's the one.
Let's go.
And we got Josh in here. Pastor Pips.
You know the vibes.
You know the vibes.
It's lit side.
Lit side. That's the new ablet, by the
Yeah.
way. And last but not least, we have our main man, Daniel San. Okay? How you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Special guest, bro.
It's been a pleasure, man. For those of you who have been following us for some time now, we actually had Daniel on our podcast back. If you go to our first episode,
Yeah.
Jacob spoke about the days we was just using we were
Anchor.
doing Anchor, and we had Auburn on there as one of our guests. Thankfully, he was able to bless us, and he's come back here today to give a lot of game, a lot of insight, really, to, quite frankly, things that people need to know. We've had a lot of information, or should I say, a lot of feedback from the last episode. That was fun.
It was.
I enjoyed that.
Me too.
I enjoyed that one. That one was good. So, Auburn, tell me today, bro. We just want to know what you do. What background do you come from, bro? Sorry, Daniel. What background do you come from, my brother?
Yeah, so background is just investment tools, different investment portfolios,
Yeah.
helping clients, or understanding clients' wants, and the risk of appetite, and just where they want to be in the future,
Yeah.
and predominantly understanding the psychology of my clients.
Yeah.
Because some people just want to live now, some people want to look after their children in the future, and some people want a good retirement. So it's all about I'm more in a game of people. So it's just understanding people, and then using my network of people to bring people together,
Yeah.
and help people have like a secure future.
Yeah.
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 Especially the environments that we grew up in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we were kept from it, because
Yeah.
the information's out there if you look for it.
Yeah.
But we were very naive to what's available to us.
Yeah.
So a lot of us wanted to be footballers or rugby players or musicians, but I never ever came across someone who said, I want to be an investment banker,
No, that's
Yeah.
real. It's
or
real.
or I want to trade currency,
Yeah.
or anything got to do with property. You just never heard of it.
It's
Yeah,
real.
that's true.
And you have to get out of your environment to really understand what's available to you.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of message that I'm bringing to my clients, or to the younger people as well.
No, that's great, bro.
Yeah.
But I just think, it's about, I think, because we're all black here, I think it's kind of like broken communities we're coming from in
Yeah.
terms of
Talk that shit now.
Nah, for real. Like we don't really have that unity as a black community. We don't have
Yeah.
it. You get it?
Facts.
If you go to like
Facts.
Asian community, they got it. White people got it.
Yeah.
Chinese people have it, or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
with the blacks, it's very
Broken.
ripped apart.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So it's very, like you said, the information's out there.
Yeah.
But the people who are raising us, they ain't know it themselves.
Yeah.
So it just
Yeah.
ain't coming through. Whereas
Yeah.
when they keep it in the community, nah, I'm on this. I'm on this. So they share the resources. Black people, we don't do none of that.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for us.
Do you know,
So
do you know what it
commend
is?
that still.
You're right. You're completely right. But do you
Yeah.
know what I believe? Because I grew up on kind of both sides. I've had a very, very good upbringing, and then just due to, I wouldn't say poor leadership, but the breakdown of a family led me to the other side of life.
I feel you, yeah.
So I've been blessed to kind of live both sides.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a grown man, and I fend for myself, the both lifestyles has really given me the tools to kind of navigate
That's
as
it,
an individual.
Yeah.
So back to your point about being in a black community, I just feel like when somebody from our community makes it, i.e. becomes financially free, or they have enough security behind them to move out of the environment they grew up in.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they do. They move out. So what they do, they take away the resources, they take away the information from the community, so they're not around us to share that with us. Whereas Asians, white people, Jewish people, their culture is to bring each other up. It's because they've made it that. Whereas our culture is we got to leave this toxic environment.
Because we're here to tear each other down, though. Unfortunately,
I wouldn't say we're here to tear each other down.
I get you, but
it's like the crabs in the barrel.
No, it spreads exactly. So it's just like everyone that's
Go grab Nimes' album. Crabs in the bucket.
no, but everyone coming up in an environment fending for themselves. That's the kind of behavior that they follow. Do you get what I mean? Because they're not, like you said, they're not taught to bring people in. Do you get it? So that's where it stems from. But I get what you mean. You'd like to think highly of your people, but you got to keep it a buck as well.
No, 100%.
Those people,
100%.
they see you get somewhere and they see you progress and whatever, and it ain't love, bro. Do you get it? It might sound like love, but
no, you're right. You're right.
I mean?
But you just have to have thick skin. You have to have thick skin.
Real talk.
The amount of people that have tried to tear me down, and it's always the ones that you help as well.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And then when they can't take more from you, they try to tear you down even more. So it does kind of. If I didn't have thick skin, I'd be just like Tom, Dick, and Harry, who kind of just leave. But I always find myself back in the environment, back in the community, helping, sharing knowledge. For instance, the knowledge that I've got is from people outside of my community. Not saying that the black community can't offer me anything. It's just that the majority of people in the black community, they need the information. And they have to go outside of the community to get that information. I've been blessed enough to kind of have access to the outside communities, where I can now have the information and bring it back. Where if everybody in a black community kind of had that mind frame, I think we'll be better off. So we just got to lead by example. I don't really look at what he does or what she does. I kind of just say, how can I better us? It's like, for instance, you see when these people say Eastern Europeans just come and use this country and then they go back home. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
No,
because they work hard,
do that.
man.
You come over here, they take jobs that we don't want, like cleaning toilets or labour work. You know, the kind of culture that we've grown up in is that we're too good for that.
Pride.
But really and truly, you're not too good for that, because I know I've got a lot of Eastern European friends who they've come from Eastern Europe, taken jobs that we would see, or our parents would see as you're better than that. Remember, so our parents have put us into that mind frame as well. It's not just us, you know. We want to make money, but we would go home and say, "Dad, I just got this job and I'm cleaning toilets." What?
Get out of here, man.
And it's not like he's looking down. He just wants more for you as his son. So, but we interpret it as that's not good enough. Whereas these Eastern Europeans will come take the job. They'll put aside £10,000 or £20,000 at the end of the year. Go back home. They're living good. They've now brought their family up the ladder. And we need to have that same mentality, but we just get trapped. You know.
I think it's the essence of grinding.
Everyone
wants to grind, but in terms of really, you know, waking up in the morning, leaving your house when it's cold and it's wet and it's raining, it's snowy outside, the floor's muddy and shit, you know, those type of really early morning grinds, I think is not something that's prolific in our country, apart from geezers. Geezers love it. They'll turn up at a building site 6 a.m, 5 a.m. if they have to. You know, when I was younger, I used to work contracting work at the Tower of London. It was a builders contractors firm right by the underneath the tower, underneath the bridge, and they required me to be there at 6 a.m. Now, you know, coming from Southwest London, I had to take a train to Victoria, and then from Victoria catch a tube, and then from a tube just walk it down. And I was there when it was, you know, 6 a.m. in the morning. This is the winter times. It's dark outside. It's pitch black. You know, I'm by the sea, which meant that the wind, the wind is colder. It's extra colder, you know. And you know, these guys are turning up in a jumper saying, "You right, mate? Want a cup of tea? Yeah, put the kettle on. Yeah, right.
full of life.
Yeah. So
they love it.
I think it's a matter of perspective of who's, you know, what type of people are. I mean, look, I'll say it as it is. I think we as English people are very spoiled. You know, we're spoiled for choices, spoiled for opportunities, and we act like we're deprived, but. You know, Josh is a good example to actually highlight. He said on the first episode that he's from Ghana. You know, he was brought up in Ghana when he was younger.
Shout out my Ghanaians.
You know, shout out the Ghanaians one time.
100%.
But Josh, I won't, you know, take your shine away in terms of, you know, being your spokesman. But just what you touched upon in the last episode, where You know, like for example, you know, right now it's lockdown. There's only so much things you can do. Okay, I like to have fun. I like to have recreational fun with my friends. I play PlayStation. I play a bit of Call of Duty now and again when I got a chance to. And you know, Josh, you had a story which kind of made me put my life into perspective and really turn around and think, well, look how grateful I am. You know, I got a twin brother. I used to bully him off the PlayStation when I was younger, but you know, Josh's experience, you know, back home in Ghana trying to play the PlayStation, what was your that was completely different.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Josh, you know, please tell us.
So when I was growing up in Ghana, I wouldn't say that like I was definitely well off in terms of, you know, all the other kids and people that were around me. And a lot of people did look up to me and, you know, have that sort of hope to, you know, aspire to be something greater. And, you know, back then, in order for me to even do anything or have any sort of recreational fun, like you said, you know, we used to have this arcade. I was right outside my house and literally everyone in the whole neighborhood, in the whole town actually, will flock to that one place. So, you know, it's sort of like, it bred that competitiveness within me and within all the people around us. Like, look, yeah, it's winner stays on. You have to make sure you win. If you don't win, back of the line or go home. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, that's just how it's sort of been, you know, when even the last, you know, episode, you would hear that, you know, when, you know, opportunities arise, you don't just open the door, you gotta bust it down.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's true. That's just sort of, you know, my whole background, really, bro.
Yeah.
Did you was there a time period, like for example, the shop must have shut surely at what time? So like if you was playing at midday and you lost, was there a chance you get a chance to get back on the game, or
it's just sort of a thing where you just have to go home. It's just like you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait. The queue is so long, and you know when you're, you know, one of the smaller guys there, you know, at my age, well back then, you know, the oldest would just bully the hell out of you. You know what I mean? So it's just sort of getting, you know, everything is just, you know, bred that sort of mental toughness to, you know, get stuff done and be around different people, whether they're, you know, maybe difficult to deal with. You know, it just helps all together. So, you know, I feel like in terms of, you know, the black community, that's what we really have a lot in, you know, just that mental toughness to just deal with different types of situations. And,
no, you're right.
You know, it sort of is a product of the environment, but, you know, you don't really want to push it to that because you can be whatever you want to be. You know? Don't just, you know, limit yourself. You know, get out of your damn comfort zone.
Yeah, that's real.
No cap.
But that's going back to what Vel was saying about touching on kind of being privileged in England. Most people are privileged here, and it doesn't breed passion. A lot of people are not passionate about things because they don't think about your situation in Ghana. They haven't felt that before. So when you don't feel certain things, it's hard for you to be like, alright, cool, actually, you know what, I'm going for it. Do you know what I mean? It don't breed that. Do you get what I mean? So I think unless you have parents that are willing to install that in you, it's going to be difficult. Do you get it? Because those are things that you can find in a book, but it's easier if someone tells you that. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a head start if someone actually be like, no, you know what do you want to do when you're older? And it's like, yeah, you could be whatever you want. That's cool, but it's a bit blasé. What do you actually want to do? You know what I mean? And you need to find it as early as you can. And sometimes it's difficult because you swap to A, B, C before you get to D. You're like, now I'm on. But it's still having the passion throughout every step of A, every step of B, every step of C. Because if you're doing it half-hearted, well, there's no point in doing it at all. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, Orb. So obviously last time we spoke when we was
just to clarify, so my nickname's Orban.
Right.
So everybody calls me Orban.
I call you Daniel, bro.
No, call me Orban. Just for the viewers to that's why they keep calling the wrong name.
That's cool. Obviously, take it personal for those that don't know. Anyway. But I
don't want to be in the comments like this guy don't even know his name, right?
No, I hear you. But no, obviously last time we spoke on a podcast when we was doing it, obviously you had a shop. And you was doing your thing in the shop and whatnot. So obviously, what's the transition been like, bro? You know, in terms of clients and how people responded to what's happening in day-to-day life now, you know.
And also, you know, what type of investments, you know, do you sort of divulge into? You know?
So it will take about 2 years. So I first got the shop in Camden Town.
Salute.
Right opposite a place called Woody Grill. So literally, it's right opposite Camden Town Station, in fact. So prime location. We had about 1 million people walking past
know
the
that is,
shop
Josh?
every single day.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Josh is like, yeah, Woody.
Pride,
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes, we had a high footfall walking past, and majority of the people walking past were all tourists. Because I don't know what I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
quite a touristy place.
yeah, very touristy.
Even the zoo's
place.
round the corner from
Sorry?
there. The zoo, yeah. When I went to Auburn shop.
Yeah.
couple
London
years
Zoo
ago.
is just up the road, Primrose Hill.
I didn't know that before.
So lots of people walking past. So the shop was a very, very good opportunity for me. Now again, it goes back to the two lives that I was living.
Right.
That I've lived. Sorry.
Right.
So the way I grew up, very, very good upbringing. You know, parents worked their asses off to provide for their children, but obviously years down the line, break down a family. Other side now, so I saw myself kind of going down the wrong path, and so did my dad. And then he called me and said one of his friends, they want to retire, and they've got the shop. Because my dad always knew that I was into like foreign exchange, but I wasn't really invested in it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a good idea, but it wasn't making me money now.
Yeah.
So I was kind of looking for ways to make money now.
Yeah.
And naturally, growing up in our environment, we find the wrong ways of making money or the easy way out.
Right.
And my dad saw me going down that path. And of course, as a son, he wants me to he wants better for me. So he said to me, "Listen, there's an opportunity there. My friend's moving out of a shop. He doesn't want to give it to just anybody. He offered it to him, my dad, but my dad had no interest in it. He just said, "Listen, it's there. If you want to get serious, get serious." So I had some time thinking about it, and then something happened in my life where it was just a wake-up call that had to change my life. I had to get out of the road that I was going down.
Yeah.
So I said, listen, let me just do it. So I kind of went there with hardly any knowledge. Or not enough knowledge. So I called Cavell and I said, listen, I've got this opportunity.
Gave him the pitch.
Yeah, but he kind of fucked me off. He said he was going to Dubai to do some things and blah blah. So I was like, fuck. I was kind of relying on him to kind of run it.
Yeah, I feel you.
So that really made me invest my time into understanding foreign exchange.
Right.
So I really blocked everything out. I went ghost for maybe 4 months, and just really started to understand the financial industry and the financial markets. I took the shop. I raised up some money myself. I took the shop. Had to put down maybe like 10 grand for the premium.
Right.
And then a couple months up front rent. And the rent was £1,500 a week.
Wow.
Because prime location is Camden.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
Camden
for
town,
real.
right
Yeah,
opposite the
yeah.
station. You've got 1 million people walking past every day. So I was like, how am I even gonna financially afford this? And I just said, listen, I need this. I need to change my life. So I kind of jumped, and it's that point where you jump, where you kind of, I don't know if you guys ever skydived. I've never, but I've spoken to skydivers, and they say,
I want to,
listen,
though.
it's
Yeah,
the most free feeling.
Yeah,
It's the most free feeling you've ever had in your life. But it's so scary before you jump.
Yeah.
But when you jump, you're like, I could do this over and over and over again.
yeah.
So I took that was the first jump in my life. I put all my money into it, £10,000 up front. And then I put maybe like £3,000 for the rent. He took 2 weeks off me. He asked me for a month, but he took 2 weeks off me.
Okay.
So yeah, I was in the shop now. I got in the shop, I was sitting down in the chair, I was like, yeah, let's go. Then I was like, oh shit, I haven't got no money to put in the tills. Because you needed money to trade.
Yeah.
So I got on an investor. He brought £5,000. I got a bit of euros, got some dollars, all the major currencies. Made top 5 currencies that was prominent in the area. Started trading. Everything's going well, running smoothly. And then a couple months into it, I started to do my stock count. And I see that there's money missing.
Really?
So instantly, I went back to that old mind frame. Like, this guy's trying to steal from me. I mean, you know. So I had to handle it in a very professional way. So I was asking him questions. It just worked. Long story short, he was stealing from me because he thought I was stupid. And he didn't know that I would come, because he would close the shop for me. So I'd come at the night when nobody's there, I'd do my stock count and blah, blah. And he was taking about maybe 100 quid a day. So I was still paying him a good wage. I was paying him maybe 700 quid a week. And he was taking £500 more than what I was paying him. So he was actually making more than I was making. And obviously my ego got involved. I was like, this is my shop. I've employed you and you're making double what I'm making. So anyway, I handled that professionally. He left and back to square one. obviously I've given him back his money that he brought, and I took the money that he stole from me. So I kind of worked it out. He took about maybe £3,000 from me.
Wow.
So I took that. So I was just kind of hustling with that, and then everything was going well. And then summer came, and when summer comes in Camden, you can't. It's like carnival. You can't walk without rubbing shoulders with people. So the demand became stronger than my supply.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to really hustle. So I was borrowing money from Tom, Dick and Harry, and it just wasn't sustainable.
Yeah.
Because what you don't know with physical currency is that you always have to change back to your home currency. So I would be left with maybe £10,000 in euros, £15,000 in dollars, and I'd have no pounds. So what happens when when foreigners come to me with their euros and dollars and they want pounds? I can't give it to them. Yeah. So then I had to make a relationship with a wholesaler, and the wholesalers would then buy all my currency from me for obviously a good price, and then replace it with sterling. So that's the ins and outs of it, the hustle. So it just got to the point where I paid everybody back their monies that I borrowed.
Right.
And then something happened to me where an opportunity came. It was a property investment opportunity. So I risked it. Another jump. This is another jump. So you think, I mean, I know Cavell thought that me having this shop was like a very straightforward, easy way. I was telling him blah, blah, I was happy at the same time, but it was a lot of stress. So property investment came. He said, listen, the landlord didn't have money to refurbish his property, but he wanted to bring up to market value so he can sell it. So I got an investor on board, gave the landlord the money to refurbish the property. He sold the property. He refurbished it within 3 weeks. Sold the property on the 5th week, and my return on that was
quick turnover.
Yeah, my return on that was £20,000.
Money day.
Yeah, money day, 100%, and that capital was for me to put into the shop.
Nice. Okay.
So now I can really sit back and just
can breathe a bit.
It's the middle of summer. You know, I employed someone that I trusted. That was there because we had lots of banks around us. So we had Lloyds, we had NatWest with Barclays, and right opposite us was HSBC. Now, the person who previously owned the shop, they had somebody working for them, but she got pregnant. So she's had this was about a year before. So she's had the baby. She's got carers now to look after the child. So she was come now looking for work. So I spoke to the guy who used to own the shop. I was like, can you trust her? You know, I've had bad experience with partners. This is cash. We can't trust anybody. And no, she was very trustworthy, very professional. So she would run the shop while I was out building up different investment tools, building up client bases, going for meetings with Google, because Google was like one of my main partners that allowed me to so there's an algorithm of Google, and it gets you to the top of the page, which I didn't know. But anyway, if you typed in my shop, which at the time was Snappy Money, it would just be at the top of the page. So a lot of phone calls would come in, a lot of traction would just come through Google. So I didn't have time to be in a shop from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. I didn't have time to do that every single day. So I had to get somebody else in. So she was running the shop beautifully, to the point where I really trusted her, and she was like really a good partner. But then she got pregnant again, so she had to go. So it was a thing.
She ain't wasted no time.
No time. She used me. She used me as a stepping stone. But that's fine. You should use people as stepping stones to get to your goal, because she was making my dream come true. Whereas she had her own dream. So I didn't take it personally. It was just business. So now I found myself in a situation where I couldn't share my time. I was completely consumed by the shop. Anyway, things were going well. I was making good money. I'd negotiated with the landlord to reduce the rent to £1,200. So I was making about £300 a week more now, just off of me not having to pay 1,500 quid a week. Middle of summer, like I said, footfall's going crazy, tourism's going crazy, businesses are going well, everything's going perfectly fine. I'm thinking, this is me. This is gonna be me for a good couple of years until I can really franchise this and make different shops around London. Things going well for 2 years, and then COVID came.
Damn it.
And then so when COVID came,
sound effects, just damn boy.
Damn boy.
When COVID came, so my income at the time was maybe between £3,500 to £4,000. The turnover was £3,500 to £4,000 a week. So obviously minus the rent, minus like the utilities like electric and stuff. And you had to do a lot of like IT, because there was you had to generate the receipts for the clients. So part of having a money shop is highly regulated. by HMRC, by the FCA. So you have to pay for the you have to pay for a service on a weekly, on a monthly basis, which calculates your trades. Yeah. So you have to prove your trades to HMRC because they can come to your shop anytime and vet you.
And review.
Exactly. So I paid a lot of money for compliance, basically.
Okay, cool.
So minus everything, I was making, about £1,100 a week profit. So everything was good. That was good income for me, especially coming from what I came from. Everything's going well. COVID came, and it went from £1,100 a week in profit to £500 negative.
Wow.
It means paying £500 to pay for the rent
For the shop,
and it was just it wasn't a slow decline. It was a boom.
Quick, massive
It
drop.
literally, it was overnight.
Yeah.
As soon as the news outlets were saying, "Don't go outside, don't travel, wear face masks," and that was the worst thing that could have happened to my business. So I believe my business, not my specific business, but my industry, which was money shops, were the first business to be affected by this, because there was no tourism anymore.
No travel, innit?
No travel, no tourism, no need for currency exchange. So I ended up hanging on to it as long as I could until it just became financially stupid.
A burden,
Exactly. It was burning a hole in my pocket. The landlord didn't care. He still wanted his money.
You said what you spoke. So how did that go? Like, did you have the chat with him to say,
I did.
Like, what's going on?
Because he's retired, he's gone back to his home country.
Okay.
So he couldn't sit down with me. So I was just trying to speak to him on the phone. But because he has land in his home country, he wasn't in a place where I could just communicate. He had to go to town for me to communicate.
Yeah, I get you.
Oh, wow.
So I sent him an email. He replied maybe 3 weeks later. This is when I'm already
like in it.
I'm in
the mud.
I feel you.
Literally, man, I'm scared.
And
he's got back to me. He's called me. He understands what's going on. So he's given me a 1 month holiday, rent holiday. So I don't have to pay for a whole month. That was good. So I was making maybe like £300 a week. Literally just £300 a week profits.
Big drop though.
And that's without paying rent. I'm saying the turnover was maybe like £500 a week. So I was like, I'm just gonna. I exercised my break clause in the contract, and that was it. I left the shop. So now I still got a bit of money left over from, because I wasn't just spending frivolously. I didn't have time to spend, because I didn't have time I had no employees, nothing. So I had a bit of money stacked up, and I was saying to myself, listen, I'm fucked. I've got no income.
Right.
Life is still going on. I've still got debts to pay. I've still got bills to pay. For instance, bills are debts. So I called Cavell, because I was pre-ing his Instagram, his LitCap Instagram, and this is when you guys were young. The company was young. So I was like, this guy's doing bits. He's actually doing bits. And then I saw Jacob, and I was like, right, they got a team. So it's stronger when you have a team. There's strength in numbers. There really is. There's 4 of you here. It's not just one person interviewing me or holding this podcast. It's 4 of you. That shows that there's a group economics going on, and there's collective energy, which is strong. So I said, this is real. So I called Cavell. We had a long chat, gave him a bit of money, and he was like, listen, bro, what's your appetite for risk? Told him my appetite for risk. I want it all. I said,
I want it all.
Because I was panicking.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So he was like, bro, I wouldn't advise that. But you're the client. I'd listen to you. Blah blah blah. So he didn't trade. I kept looking at my accounts every single day. He hadn't put on one trade. So I was like, what's this guy doing, man? Anyway, we left it. So anyway, back to the shop situation. Answer to your question is, COVID completely fucked my shop.
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Moving on post COVID now. Cavell's he's got some money of mine, and he hasn't traded it. So I've called him. I was like, what are you doing? It was like, bro, I just really don't advise you to come into this with the mind frame you've got. And he was like a psychologist. He wasn't a trader. I was like, are you a psychologist or are you a trader? Trade my money. And he said, bro, it's my job as my duty of care for you to understand the risks involved in trading speculatively. Because when you're trading physically, it's guaranteed. I'm buying their currency, my client's currency, cheaper than what I'm selling it to my wholesaler for. So I'm guaranteed making money on each trade. He says, listen, each trade is not guaranteed. This is not physical. So I'm just getting frustrated because I don't understand the difference between physical and speculative.
Okay, so seeing you, so you're probably seeing the picture of, hold on a minute, I was doing this physically, you're just doing it online. So where you at?
Exactly. I'm just not understanding the difference. So because I'm already in a panicked mind frame, I'm putting pressure on him now. So he said, listen, just relax, calm down, let's just do this properly. So he invited me to the forum. What was it again? What's the forum?
Discord,
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I saw that there was about 300
community.
students. The community was. I wasn't the only guy. So I stopped taking things personally. It's just the mind frame. It's the mind frame.
Yeah.
So I saw, we were just doing it anyway. I was blowing the money that I had saved. So my mind frame is becoming worse and worse and worse. So I'm panicking and panicking and panicking.
Yeah.
So I've taken it upon myself now to trade my own money. Blew my account. So Cavell saw what was in my account, which was a decent amount.
Yeah.
And then he looked at it maybe 2 weeks later. He called me. I was like, "What have you done?"
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw that?
Whoa.
Damn, boy.
Yeah, sound effects, please.
As sensei, what did you think? Seeing one of your students just blow the whole account because he was panicking in life.
Personally, I'd say it was inevitable.
Yeah.
Because knowing who you are, knowing where you come from in terms of your background, your credentials, you're a money man.
Yeah.
Let's say it how it is, right?
Yeah.
So Aubin was talking to me like, bro, let's hit these trades today. Today. He was calling like, what are we trading today? What we trading? I'm like, bro, chill. I felt like Shannon Briggs. Chill, champ, chill. Yeah. He's calling me saying, let's go, champ. He's jumping on the call strictly looking for a move,
Yeah.
And it'll be a thing where it's like, I'd say, so I'm on the call and I'm like, oh, okay, you know how it goes in the morning session, live stream, make sure you're there at capital.co.uk. But a live stream session, we're like, okay, looks like gold might come down, yeah? Aubin's private message me, I'm in gold. He said, what's the TP? What's my SL? And I'm like, fucking hell, And sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. So it really put me into a position where I said to myself, look, man, to maintain this relationship, I need to let him know that capital preservation is key, and if we can treat this like a business, like the business you was involved in, then this can be long lasting. But if we're gonna drive in the fast lane, and we ain't even got a Maybach, this ain't gonna get us too far, and we ain't gonna get much out of it. So it was really about making sure I could manage Aubin's expectations. By managing your expectations, that was at least allowing you to believe that at the end of the day, the future was bright, because we wasn't just trying to hit the jackpot, we was compounding our accounts. Now back then Aubin just probably thought, Cavell, whatever, you're just a pastor, I ain't hearing all this preaching shit. Because what had happened was Aubin said, you know what, I got another friend, he's trading, I'm gonna go with him. So Aubin went with his other friend, okay? He went with his friend.
I'm sorry about that, by the way.
Yeah, he went with his friend. He actually, so like one day after seeing that there's this mad drawdown in the account. So I was like, real, like I ain't putting no trades. I called Aubin like, bro, what's this trade about? He's, oh yeah. I said, bearing in mind, right? Prior to this happening,
I was panicking.
Prior to that, I said to him, if I'm gonna trade your account, bro, I just want to trade your account. No one else, just me. He said, yep, cool, signed, still delivered. Let capital.co.uk.
I went against the contract.
Let's go. Yeah. I said, cool. A week in now, or a couple of weeks in, I'm seeing these trades and I'm thinking, right. And you know what? Some of them was in profit, okay? But they just weren't my trades, and I wasn't going to act like they were my trades. So I called him to say, yo, who's these trades, bro? And he was like, oh, yeah. The way how he mentioned it to me was like, oh, yeah, didn't I tell you? Yeah, my friend. My friend, he just managed to
hold my hands up. That's exactly how it went.
He said he's doing his thing. I was like, okay, all right, cool, bro. And then about a week, within like, I don't know, I couldn't tell you the exact time frame because it's been so long.
Yeah, it was some time ago.
Yeah, but a couple of years now. But what had happened was, the account had been down like over 90%, 80% down. Aubin had got angry at his friend. I was just happy that it wasn't me. Let's have it right. I was happy it wasn't me. I was like, I told you your ass.
And then from then I was just listening to you. I was like, you know what, you're right. But that had to happen to me.
So
bad things have to happen to you to learn.
Real talk.
Because if you don't listen, you must feel. And that's something that's always stuck with me throughout life.
I like that statement. I have to write that down.
Yeah.
If you don't listen, you must feel.
Your mum should have told you that from back in the day.
You heard that before?
Right before you got licked.
Never heard. I heard the classics. Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about.
That is a classic.
If you don't hear, you must put it. Classics.
What was the other one? Put it on my head. Oh man, where should I put the? Where should I put this? Put it on my head. I heard those songs. I ain't heard that one.
I never heard that one, boy.
That was strictly African stuff.
Maybe it might be that still, but I get you. But you're right though. Like in terms of like growing as a person, you grow from them bad mistakes.
Yeah.
You actually grow. It's what teaches you. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't do that stupid shit again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It needs
And
to
then it's
happen.
like, maybe what Cavell was saying was right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
No,
then you
no,
take
yeah,
it on board and you're like, alright, cool, let's do it properly. you
Yeah,
know?
because I'm a very reflective person.
Yeah.
So I look back at my actions. I don't blame. I used to be that person to blame everybody else.
Right.
The moment I started blaming myself for everything that happens in my life became so much better.
Yeah.
And I just had a better mind frame towards life and a better perspective towards life because I was accountable for my actions.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I was blaming him. I was like, it's your fault. You weren't trading my money. I told you I'm trying to make some money. So, of course, I'm going to take matters into my own hands.
Yeah.
But really and truly, I'm telling him how to do his job.
Yeah.
He couldn't come to my shop and say,
That's
Auburn,
it,
do this, do that.
Real talk.
So I'm here telling him how to do his job. So as an idiot, I went against the grapevine and I'd done my own thing.
Yeah.
And I lost. So I couldn't blame him for that.
No.
I actually thanked him for that because he could have said, stop. He could have said, take your money out. He could have maybe been a bit more involved and traded my money and taken the risk. But he just allowed me to make the mistake. And without blowing up your head, that's what your parents do to you. They allow you to kind of, don't touch that, it's hot. But they see you going to touch it and they let you touch it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't touch it yourself,
You're
you're not going to feel that pain.
That's where the saying comes from, Nathan. Okay, if you don't hear, you
listen,
must feel.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. And so since then, Cavell's been my sensei with regards to trading currency speculatively. And then also he's introduced me to Jacob, who's another sensei. You guys are amazing at what you do. I've introduced quite a lot of people to Cavell, or to Lit Capital, let's just say Lit Cap, because it's a joint thing. And I honestly see that Lit Cap is gonna go to the moon.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man.
Look, cap to the moon, boy.
And what's good is that you guys are young.
Yeah.
You guys are young and you're doing it the right way. You're building your foundation. You're not trying to get fancy offices in Mayfair or fancy offices on Liverpool Street. They're not trying to. You guys aren't trying to be something you're not.
Yeah.
This is a very authentic company, and it's like a home for people like me.
Yeah.
Who wanted to diversify their portfolio. And also have people that actually care about you as an individual rather than just your money or what you can make them. So yeah.
Appreciate that, bro.
No,
So yeah, man. But obviously going into like 2021 now, so obviously we're still in COVID.
Yeah.
It's still locked down and that. So like, what have you had to do to just transition? Like, what's your next step now? Because obviously you ain't got the shop.
Yeah.
So like, how have you transitioned?
So I went through a very dry period where I wasn't making any money. I was literally surviving off the money I made from the shop. So I was just networking. I was using my network to my advantage. I didn't understand how your network could really impact your...
It's everything, bro.
your future.
It's actually everything,
because I think it was Grant Cardone. Do you guys know who Grant Cardone
I've heard
is?
of him.
He said everything you want, a stranger has.
Yeah.
It's true.
And we were brought up, don't talk to strangers. So
Yeah.
you got to ask yourself, why did we told that? Don't talk to strangers.
Conflict of interest.
So I never wanted anything from someone I didn't know. I wanted you to tell me who I know and trust.
Yeah.
But you didn't have the
You
answers.
ain't got it, yeah.
So I started speaking to people I didn't know, and I started to ask for introductions to people I didn't know. And I was just networking. I came across this company. I won't name them. But this company, their turnover is in hundreds of millions on an annual basis, and one of their representatives, who I also won't name, he's been looking after me since I was in the shop.
What's his name?
I'm actually gonna try and bring him onto the show.
Yeah, salute,
Yeah,
man.
because
Tell him to
he'll
come,
be a
bro.
good guy for you to,
Yeah.
and he's outside the community as well.
Yeah.
He'll be a good guy for you guys
That'd be
to talk to you, and his partner as well. I'm gonna make that happen for you. Promise.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro.
But yeah, anyway, so these guys who you guys are gonna see soon, they've been looking after me since the shop because they actually handled my compliance for the shop.
Okay,
So you couldn't just have a shop without having a compliance officer.
Yeah.
So they would do my compliance, but they also represented other people and other companies.
Yeah.
So they were like a pool of a network that had access to to this guy, to that guy, to this guy.
Yeah,
And when I say this guy, I'm saying that investment tool, that investment tool, that investment tool.
Yeah.
So I became friends with them. They used to invite. Remember, these guys are middle-aged white men. So when we're out for drinks, it's looking weird, you know. It's looking weird, like proper weird. Like
Are you security?
Yeah, exactly. It's looking so weird, but we're like laughing and like man them,
buddy,
very friendly, man, and we're just drinking and I became. They kind of they were grooming me. In like reflecting, and I always have these jokes with them. You guys are nasty, just grooming little black kids. And we have that sort of joke, you know. It's friendly banter.
No, I get you.
Yeah. But it was true. They saw something in me that I didn't see.
Right.
And there was no reason for them to look after me the way they did. They could have just. They never charged me the way they charge their clients. I'm telling you, if you want to talk about their fee structure, I can't afford that. But I was able to afford it because they made me a bespoke fee structure. Yeah. And they just said, listen, I asked them, why did you do this? You had no reason to do this.
Yeah.
And they just said, we just saw something in you. I said, what? What did you do? I really wanted to know because I wasn't brought up people telling me that you're great. Yeah. You're gonna see how DJ Khaled talks to his sons. You're king, you're great. They gave me that energy. They made me feel like I'm capable of really taking over
anything.
Yeah. And they just said we saw something in you. You know, you're a natural born bred entrepreneur because they saw what I was going through in the shop.
Okay.
And they just kind of liked the resilience and the hustle in me.
Yeah.
And they just said we knew one day you'll be valuable to us. I was like, what's this, like Illuminati or something? Because like these guys, like when you see them, they're proper affluent men.
Right.
Affluent. Guys who you never would rub shoulders with in how we grew up.
And I can vouch for that.
Because you've actually met one of them because when you came to the office in Grosvenor Square.
Yeah.
Was that too much info? When you came, you actually met one of them. And the guy he met, he had a foreign exchange, same what you guys do.
Right.
He had a foreign exchange company in what year was it? I think they dissolved it in 2017, right?
Yeah.
But it was turning over, mate. Like I think it was like 290 million.
Yeah. It's a very big company, and when I had the meeting with him and I was speaking to him, I understood straight away from the brokerage that he named, which I won't name, just for, hopefully we can get him on a show, we can explain it in a bit more detail. But they're big fish, so to understand that, Albin is brushing shoulders with people who are shout out to Micah. Micah says the upper room. The upper room. Shout out to Micah on the quote for Albin is really in the upper room.
So I've got access to the upper room. And it's all about access.
No, but you can't say it like that, bro. When you say upper room, it's just the upper room.
Upper room.
No, but like you got the key card, bro.
Yeah, I've got the key card.
Access card.
Access card. Literally, they gave me the access card for the room. So, and that's actually a privilege.
Yeah.
But it's also the way you carry yourself as well. I've always shown them that I'm grateful for what they've done as well for me because they didn't have to.
Yeah.
A lot of people they kind of come with like an entitlement.
Take it for granted.
Yeah. They feel entitled, and I've never felt entitled.
Yeah.
Especially not from them.
People like that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I would go to them with one problem. They would give me not only a solution, they'd give me options.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. So they'll say, yeah, we can sort that out for you, but why not this?
Yeah.
They open your mind.
Yeah.
Not because you're dumb, it's just because you've never thought about it that way.
So
maybe because you've never been exposed to it as well.
Exactly. That's exactly it. The exposure. And when you get exposed to new things, you kind of can't stop thinking about it. As we turn into men. From boys to men, we turn into can't stop thinking about it.
Sorry to cut you off, but I heard one quote, right? And they said once your mind is like a sponge. Like once you have your mind expanded, it will never go back.
It will never go
back
to that. Never go back to that.
So definitely,
and that's what took me to when you asked me the question, Jacob, about 2021 now, COVID's still here. What are you into now? And then back to your statement about your mind being expanded, it will never go back to how it was. Because my mind was expanded throughout the time of me being in the shop.
Yeah.
I'm now like, I don't have to kind of go back to the
Square
fast
one.
little shady deals.
Yeah.
I actually want to make something of myself in the real world.
Yeah.
Not in a Batman world.
So Dark Knight. Boy.
Yeah, so not in Gotham. I really
Yeah.
want to be in. I really want to be in the real world.
I feel you.
And rubbing shoulders with these guys, I just said to myself, I've got no reason. I might as well take this as far as I can possibly take it.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to kind of say like, oh, I haven't got the shop now, so I might as well thank you for everything you've done for me. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to them with my problem, like how I did the first time, and say, listen, my shop's closed. I'm fucked. What can I do? And they just
They said, what? Proper fuck Turkish?
yeah, no, you literally. They were like, what do you mean fucked?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm fucked. Like, I can't afford the shop anymore. And they just said, kind of, in a long story short, they said, we're going to introduce you to a couple of guys that would have, different investment tools, different investment opportunities. If you guys can come together and make something of it, happy days.
Yeah.
So I got introduced to the guy you met, Cavell.
Okay.
He was his background's foreign exchange, as you know.
Yeah.
But he also has a family. No, of course, his family, their background is property.
Okay.
And they're turning over, again, crazy numbers on an annual basis of property development. So they buy land and build properties from scratch. They also
Talk
buy
those numbers, my guy.
Serious.
well, the chat that we had this morning, which you overheard, the family's done about 150 mil, and that's
Damn.
that's
Jesus
during
Christ.
COVID time as well.
Boy.
So business is booming for them.
Yeah.
Their business is COVID proof.
I
Yeah.
feel you.
And a lot of people, if you go on Google or YouTube, top searches COVID proof businesses.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even seen that.
Yeah,
Wow.
like COVID proof businesses. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants a business that can survive a pandemic.
Out here, yeah.
And it's proven that their business is surviving a pandemic, definitely, and it's thriving.
Shout out to them. Man.
Yeah, so shout out to them. I hope one day you'd meet him and you get to sit down with him and speak. And like I said, my network is now your network. So
Appreciate it, bro.
they're your friends too. So hopefully we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get you the access cards.
Yeah. Real talk.
But yeah, great guys. And the thing is, back to the first thing that we were talking about, and it's the share of knowledge within our community. Now, this is not me being biased against my own race. It's just the disease that we've all kind of been born with, which is wanting to be the only person in the room who is successful.
Yeah.
Now, Jay-Z said in his lyrics one time, he says, we don't judge success off of you, we judge success off of how many people are successful around you.
Around you. Yeah.
And that resonated with me crazy because I can never be on my Instagram stunting, because I can show a lot because I've got a lot myself.
Yeah.
But I would never be on my Instagram stunting when I haven't got my mum the dream of the house of her dreams.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't retired my father and my siblings, even though I'm the youngest, but they're not living a life that I want to see them live. I'm the only person kind of thriving in a way that I want to thrive.
Yeah.
So I'm not rich. Because
I feel you.
because rich to me is when everybody around you is also rich, and
That's
rich is
real
also
talk,
being happy.
That's real talk.
And everyone, I'm not saying that you can't be happy without money. I'm sure that in Ghana, like I've got African friends, and they're so happy in Ghana.
Yeah.
And they haven't got half of what I've got, but they're happier than me. Why is that? And it's a state of mind.
Perspective. Yeah,
Exactly, it's
definitely.
perspective. And just going back to the share of knowledge, when I go to these guys, they don't tell me what I want to know. They tell me more than what I want to know.
Yeah.
So why can't we get that from our own community?
It's a good question.
And it's because they want to. We're in competition with each other.
Yeah.
It's like we've been
100.
back in the slavery days. They put us against each other, house Negroes and field Negroes, different skin shades. So many tactics, these Jim Crow tactics that are still living, thriving to this day,
Yeah.
where you want to be the best. We're men,
Yeah.
and I grew up around alpha males,
man. Yeah.
where we can get it cracking, 100%. But let's have respect for each other and never forget about where we've come from.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I've got a company. Lit Capital's got a company.
Yeah.
I want to be the biggest company in the world.
Yeah.
So does Lit Capital. But we don't have to be each other's heads.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah,
help each other
sure.
grow.
No, it's
I just
true.
want
Do you know what
to
I'm
touch upon that to anyone who ends up listening to this or watching this podcast. I had a funny story, which I don't know if I'll go too much into detail about, but seeing as he just spoke, I don't know if you heard me giggle when he said house nigger and field nigger.
Yeah.
But when I was living in Madrid, so if you're listening to this or watching this and you worked with me in the past from Madrid, you'll know this story. So So I used to work in sales, that I've mentioned before on previous podcasts, and I used to wear 3-piece suits to work, right? I've always liked to wear suits, and it's quite funny because, well, not funny, but it's actually amazing, actually. When I was younger, around about 17, 18, one time, and I actually remember this like it was yesterday. So I was in my room, I had a loft conversion, so I had like a little, quite a big window where you can lift it up and you can see out, and the moon always used to shine through my window. And one night I looked up out of the moon, boy. It's like it was I should make a movie out of this one day, really. And I said, I actually looked up and I asked the powers that be to grant me a job that can enable me to wear a suit to work every day and be smart and get paid a footballer's wage. That's what I said. I said, I want to get paid. I don't want to get paid £9, £8 per hour. I want a paycheck that I don't even know how much it is, but I know it's more than anything I've seen before, and I want to wear suits every day. Now, I got a very lucrative job in sales in Madrid, and I used to wear, nice clothes. Presentation is key.
Yeah, I used to call you Mr. Madrid.
Yeah.
There you go. And, my barber used to call me Clegg, and and the point is that if you look good, you feel good, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And this hating ass nigga, man. Let me just say how it is, boy, because this is the Lit Cap No Cap podcast. Yeah,
100% unfiltered.
Yeah, unfiltered, raw. This motherfucker. Okay, he had the audacity, right, to call me a house nigga. Now we're in a working environment. We're on the sales floor, and
this guy was black, right?
yeah, he was black.
Okay,
He was
cool,
black.
cool.
But funny enough, he'd been brought up in Spain. So, but
Yeah.
his mother was English. He used to live here when he was young. A bit like Josh. Josh used to live in Ghana when he was
Yeah.
young.
Oh,
He came
okay.
over here when he was young, right? He used to live in England when he was young. Oh, he was born and raised in England, but he left England when he was very young and went to Spain, right?
Oh, okay.
So, but because now there's a few London people in the office, he's
trying to flex.
Yeah, he's trying to fill.
Yeah, biggest chest up a bit.
He's trying to push himself back into this London vibe, right?
Yeah.
So now and again, everyone knows I'm a funny guy, right? Naturally, okay.
Naturally, yeah.
So jokes is always flying around, and I'm the type of guy I can give as good as I can take, right? So if you want to go toe to toe with me for banter, bro, just make sure you're
prepared.
You're prepared, yeah. So so his defense mechanism was to keep calling me a house nigga just because I looked presentable, right?
Yeah.
And some people would laugh, some people, the white people weren't laughing because they couldn't really laugh.
Yeah,
But-
it's awkward for them.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the black people were, some of them, because there wasn't a lot of us, okay, there's only a handful of us, okay, they would, in fact, when I say handful, me, Al,
Which you're just gonna name 3 guys.
I don't even think there was 4 of us.
Yeah.
There was 3 of us.
Yeah.
Including him, there was just us 3.
Yeah.
That's how it
Right?
goes,
So he
man.
was really only doing it to make Al laugh, and he was doing it to try and make everyone laugh, right? But the point is, where I was going with the whole story is, one day, so after work we would there was like a lounge where we could chill out, and we was playing FIFA and stuff. And he kept coming with this house nigga talk, and I said to him, look, man, like, are you even black? Because I didn't know his full background. He was a light-skinned guy, and you keep calling me a house nigga, bro. Now I'm really gonna give it to you. So I said, bro, like, are you even black? Like, I bet your mum's a Pauline.
Yeah.
And when I said that to him, boy, it really got under his skin, and he went into his Spanish roots. He came up into my face, bearing in mind, so this is a lot of detail here, but I'll tell you the story nonetheless. So we was all playing FIFA. I was playing FIFA with my manager at this precise moment. So I'm not even looking at him, right? I'm in a room full of white guys, right? So I'm looking at the screen playing. He's behind me. I'm just sharp, man. Your mum's probably a Pauline. Everyone is dying. All the white geezers, they're dying. Yeah. And then he just started talking this Spanish shit, come up in my face, and he spat on the floor. Bro, we're inside the place we're working, cuz.
Yeah.
And he spat on the floor. Now, what was happening was, the reason why we was there after work playing is because that particular day every week we used to go and play football down at the five-a-side. So we just had a couple games on FIFA, then we was going to go down there. And this guy, he tried to step to me. So he spat on the floor, started speaking his nonsense, and I was actually, I didn't have my top on because I was in the process of getting changed.
Yeah.
Going to
To
play
go and play
football,
five-a-side,
going
yeah.
to put my my football jersey on, etc.
yeah.
This guy's moving like he's about to have me up in the corner, so I've had to get really physical with him. And the second I got physical with him, he turned into a Karen. I don't know what we're gonna call a male
It's like
Karen,
crying wolf.
but he literally turned into a Karen. And the point I was it just really made me laugh when you said house nigga, field nigga,
Yeah.
because that brought back some strong memories. Bro.
No, definitely, and it's like your white colleagues could have easily interjected and said stop that nonsense.
Definitely.
Because I've also worked on a floor as well, a trading floor when I used
To
to.
clarify, though, I didn't want them to say that. They didn't need to say that. It
No,
wasn't-
of course,
it
they
weren't his
didn't.
place to even be saying that.
Yeah,
especially if
no,
your
of
mum's
course.
white.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
didn't.
I mean-
He didn't need to say that. He didn't need to say that. But I'm saying that the mind frame of your colleagues, even if they're black, guys, cut that out.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because it just kind of breeds a negative
Yeah, no, it's true.
emotion in
Yeah.
your working atmosphere.
I feel you.
And
Sorry,
yeah,
the
it's
last
cool.
time I interrupt you,
No, it's
you're
fine, bro.
actually right.
Mhm.
That is the reason why I brought that story up, because
Yeah.
the whole topic of what you were saying
Yeah.
was that us as
As a
community,
community,
are
yeah.
always
Yeah.
at each
Separated.
other's throats.
Separated.
Yeah. That was a classic
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Rather than this guy being happy for me and
Yeah.
us lifting each other up,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because he was good at his job.
Yeah.
He was one of the best at his job.
Yeah.
But every time I had a little shine, he just felt like he had to kind of, hit me back
Stamp
down.
that
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
So the last straw was me showing him, look, mate, okay, I don't know where you think I'm from, but
Mhm.
I'm definitely not from Madrid. So
Yeah.
now that you're in my face and I've got my shirt off, I'm feeling a bit like,
pumped.
what's going on here? Not even pumped, bro. I'm thinking like, bro, what are you trying to do? Cuz say you just spat on me, I'm about to lose my cool here. So,
Yeah.
so there was a glass built, it was a glass office. So shit was very fragile.
it could
to say
have
the
got
least,
it could have got a bit dangerous. Yeah. No, definitely, and that's just it's the same mind frame that you have over here in London.
Yeah.
And it's envy, it's jealousy because you present yourself very well. You're always clean cut, shaven.
Yeah.
You're not an ugly guy,
Yeah.
and it's him maybe seeing you
Oh,
dressed
thank
in him maybe seeing you dressed in a suit, always clean cut, well spoken. You can articulate yourself. You may have came across as a threat to him.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody with my mind frame, if I was him,
Yeah.
I would have kind of navigated towards you and maybe taken a leaf out of your book
Yeah.
because he clearly just admired you,
Yeah,
but he was just
definitely.
threatened by your presence
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he wanted to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I've also had that same sort of scenario in my life as well. But I clock it, and rather than me get into it, I said, just admire me from a distance or ask me how I do it.
Yeah.
And I just put them straight because I haven't got time to be going back and forth because
Mind games.
it's because I'm a firm believer in energy,
Yeah,
and
real
that
talk.
scares away the money. That sort of environment.
It's true.
So yeah, just going back to that, like you said, the upper room.
Yeah.
They when I would go to them for advice, they wouldn't just give me advice that would help me for that specific topic I was talking about. They would also give me advice as to how I can monetize and expand.
Yeah.
And it was just this expansion talk that I was addicted to. I just didn't believe that I could take things further than what I thought I could take, thought I could take it.
Yeah.
And it's just about, and this brings me to the topic of the community work that I've been doing recently, which is taking young boys out of the environment that they grow up in. A lot of these guys, they grow up in, tower blocks, council estates, and they don't really get out of a specific radius of their home. So when I kind of pick them up, or we would go on like an outing, if you would say, we would just go for a drive, just so they can see big houses.
Different things.
I'll take them to like private roads, so they can just see
Have
the
things
other
to
side of
aspire
life,
to.
and that
Yeah.
you can really achieve this.
100.
And then I'll also take them to the real ghettos. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Ellsbury Estates and the real that I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention ghettos because people may live there and get offended.
Yeah.
But those are, I'll take them to that bad areas, and I say, you haven't got it this bad,
Yeah.
but you haven't got it this good.
Yeah.
So where do you want to go? Because you're going to end up here if you carry on moving like you're a gangster, or like you've got something to
Carrying
prove.
yourself the wrong way.
Because we have nothing to prove.
No,
The only person that we need to prove anything to is ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't have to prove our parents anything, because what our parents want for us may not be what we want for ourselves,
That's
and
real talk.
we have to live with ourselves, not our parents, when we grow older.
Yeah.
So yeah, just community work. I'm just helping a lot of young people out, because a lot of young people, they suffer with mental health, and they don't know how to articulate themselves and speak about it. So I just believe it's my job. I've gone through all of that, and I can articulate myself very well. So I teach these young boys how to articulate themselves. And again, it's back to the psychology of just your mind frame, because it also is very relative to trading. When you're, and then you can say, Jacob, but when you're trading, I mean, I've been on your morning sessions, when you guys wake up before dawn or whatever, these early times.
5 a.m.
Yeah,
in the morning.
it's crazy.
I'm yawning.
I respect you guys' work ethic,
5 a.m.
man.
in the morning.
I respect it, but like Jacob always speaks on the psychology of trading, and it's really, and it just comes down to, if you're in a bad mind frame when you're looking at the charts and you're executing your trades, you're gonna really expect a bad outcome because you've definitely missed something due to your lack of focus. Exactly. So you have to really, I wouldn't say meditate, but you have to ground yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
do you know what? These guys are always talking about meditation.
Yeah,
every morning.
Cavell got me into reading.
Yeah.
Like, I've always been a good reader because I've got a good education, but I've never really been interested in reading.
Me too.
And he put me onto this good book. It's The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. And I still haven't finished the book, but
Joker.
I read it though. I do read it.
Okay.
And each time I read it, I just feel like something's added to my life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
rather
that
than
type of book. Every page is like
every
wow.
page there's a gem
Yeah.
on that page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just reading itself just kind of is like a meditation because you're forgetting about everything outside the book.
Yeah.
And that's how you need to be in life. You've got to be tunnel visioned. So for instance, when you got like different outside inputs coming in and they're just distracting you, you can get distracted but just never lose sight of your end goal.
Real talk.
And that's the focus that I've had throughout this whole COVID situation. Is COVID is the biggest distraction, but I had to say to myself, am I going to blame COVID or am I going to give COVID the thanks?
Yeah.
Because COVID has really allowed me to get in touch with myself more, and really, it's really just made me ask myself, am I the problem or is COVID the problem?
Yeah.
Because I know people that are thriving through this time.
Yeah.
In the same industry as us, all of us here, and in other industries. And I know people that are blaming COVID and they're just sitting at home smoking weed and just drinking alcohol, you know, looking for Tinder
Bumming
dates.
it.
Just
Bumming
bumming
it.
it, just
Yeah,
bumming it.
facts.
And it's because they want a scapegoat.
It's real.
Because they haven't got that work ethic to really, or they haven't got that the balls to blame themselves for the situation. Exactly. They haven't got the balls to really blame themselves. And me, I always look for the first reason as to why I should blame myself.
Yeah.
And the last thing I look for is it that person's fault.
Yeah. No, and to touch on that, self-assessment is important. And what you realize in adult life, some people cannot do self-critiquing. They can't do it.
It's
they
too
will
hard.
But I don't understand
It's
why
it's painful.
It's painful, but it shouldn't be because it enlightens you. So
Yeah.
it shouldn't be painful because when you critique, now you know what? That's on me. Then you know what you need to correct. If you don't and you want to find every other reason that it's someone else's fault, you ain't growing, bro. So you can sit there and do what you want to do and make excuses like you're saying. But in the long run, that is just stunting your growth. You're not actually learning in any situation you're finding yourself in. It's always someone else's fault.
Yeah.
So those people there, you need to actually do a reality check and say,
100.
nah, you know what? It's me. I'm the issue. Do you get it?
100.
So if you can't do that, I've never understood. There are individuals out there, they cannot bear to do it.
100%.
But it's necessary. You need to
very
do it.
necessary.
Do you get it?
That's for all the listeners out there.
No, for real.
But bro, do you know what? Before I forget, I wanted to ask you a question actually. So I want to take you back to like, I know you said obviously you were offered the opportunity to own the shop, right?
Yeah.
So when you were presented with that opportunity and you started, you know, running the shop and doing what you needed to do, what I want to know is how did you deal with that pressure in starting that? Because a lot of the time when you're provided with an opportunity, you have one person that will just crumble, and then you have the other person that will take, you know, the best out of it and actually make something of it. So how did you deal with that pressure starting that business?
Great question. I was all in. I had no other option but to make this a success. That was my point. Like I said, I jumped. And I purposely put everything into it. I put all the money that I had and all the energy that I had into the shop. So I said to myself, I haven't got a loser mentality. I've always grown up to be a winner. I'm a sore loser. I hate losing. And Cavell, you know when you beat me. I'm a sore loser. Hate losing. And I like that because when I have my son, he's not going to grow up to like losing. I want him to cry when he loses because losing is not acceptable.
So I wanted to cry.
100%. You should feel pain when you lose.
100%.
You should feel pain, and you should feel worthless as well within yourself. But you should never give up.
Yeah.
Do you understand? There's a difference. Some people feel worthless and never want to go back to it. Me, I feel worthless and I was like, can't wait to get you next time.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
So that mentality that I had in a shop when everything was going against me, I was like, yeah, you're fucking with me. I was looking up, listening, you're fucking with me. But it's cool. I've got me.
Yeah.
And you just have to have that faith that no matter what, you're gonna prosper.
Yeah.
And there was a point where I thought I was gonna just throw all my chips in and just say, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna maybe like sublet the shop. To somebody who really knows what they're doing, or because at the time I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, because clearly I don't, because I'm not prospering. But it's consistency, bro. You just can't give up. It's consistency. You have to be persistent and you have to be intentional. If I didn't intend to make that shop a success, it would not have been a success.
That's what I was going to touch on, bro, because you said some vital things. You said you was all in.
Yeah.
That's your intention right there. You're all in. So then where you're going in with that energy, it will figure itself out.
And it did.
It will. It don't matter how long it's going to take. I'm telling you it will. Because same with me and Cavell, and, you know, when we started our business, we started learning how to trade, and then we was like, bro, can we mentor people? Teach people? It's like, cool. At first, we didn't know how it was gonna work. We just said we're gonna do it.
Just do it.
Do you get it?
You just gotta do it.
We're literally just treading water, bro. We can't see the floor. We're just in it. We just jumped in. We're in it. We're treading the water. But it's the intention. The intention was always to build a community. That was it. Do you get it? So now that we're in, fast forward where we are, it doesn't matter about how did you first intention. That was it. Like, because there wasn't no plan like that. We had to obviously, you know, look up what was necessary in terms of like legalities and all of that type of stuff. But the main thing was wake up every day. This is what we're on. Get it? To this
then it becomes a habit.
100%,
it becomes
100%.
It's like it's a lot of work to begin with. But then you just become habitually doing it. You look at yourself like, wait, I didn't even need to be up today. But I'm up. So yeah.
So my question for you, bro, is, of course, you know, in terms of how you were able to, you know, move from point A to point B, you had to, you know, first understand your own appetite of risk and, you know, understand that this is something that you need to do. So, you know, from your perspective, let's say there's another individual who doesn't have that same appetite of risk. How would you, you know, advise people to sort of learn about how, you know, they can deal with risk and, you know, what's going to help them elevate to the next step? Because, you know, everyone knows the saying, there ain't no risk without reward.
100%. Great question again. And my answer to that is just to really, you have to sit down with yourself and just ask yourself, what is it you want from life? And how safe do you want to play it? Because like you said, without risk, there's no reward. But you can still get rewarded for minimal risk. You can. I look at property as like a minimal risk investment. You don't necessarily make your returns on a daily basis like day trading, but over time, due to capital appreciation or your rental income, that would be a great low risk investment. But some people haven't got money to get into property. So on the next podcast, if you guys bring it back, I'll teach you guys how to purchase properties with no money down.
Perfect. I think that's a great way to end the show. We've had a lot of nuggets being provided in today's show. There's always nuggets really when we come together. There was a few things that off air you mentioned, just in regards to the we was talking about foods, you know, and the foods we eat. We won't go into it now. We'll just lightly touch upon it. But I know you and Jacob are big. There's a lot of big topics, a lot of big important things that people need to know in regards to health and in regards to what's not being told. Like at the moment, I saw something where I can't remember where I saw it, but it was that basically, long story short, throughout COVID, not once has there been any type of publication to endorse healthy living, healthy eating,
good nutrition.
Not once, you know. It's just all been about fast foods. New fast food restaurants have actually opened in my local area. You know, it's just all been about really, you know, Deliveroo. Okay, Just Eat, Uber Eats, these places are making a fortune right now. You know, Snoop Dogg's done an advert with Just Eat. You know, shout out Ned.
So just to stop you there, bro. It's all about I know we're short for time, so I'll just touch on it quickly.
Never short for time, my guy.
I like that. But because the guy's rushing us out the room, so let me just touch on it quickly. It's due to organization. So these companies thrive because of us, because of our lack of organization. So Cavell and I speak every day, and I'm always telling him, sorry, bro, I can't talk right now, I'm just preparing my food. And he's just like, why are you always preparing food? I was like, because if I don't prepare food, I'm going to end up eating shit. And I'm in this place in my life where I want to get into shape, I want to get fit. And throughout COVID, I've lost 3 stone.
Absolutely.
Literally, like, I've had to,
yourself,
I've had to
Big,
get a
big
complete new wardrobe, and I feel much better. My girlfriend loves me more. But not only that, you just feel better. So
Yeah.
I put more energy into my business now, and I've actually seen greater returns
Yeah.
now from my energy input than how it was before.
Yeah.
So good nutrition, especially you've put me onto this amazing water.
Yes.
That I'm gonna purchase a crate when we leave here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
amazing.
cold.
So yeah, just drinking that better, just having better things in your body would allow you to have more of an input into
Yeah.
what you put your
Yeah.
energy into.
Yes.
So yeah,
No, that's good, man. But yeah, no, definitely some nuggets been dropped. Thank you for coming, bro.
Yeah, no, you're
as
welcome.
always, man.
Thank you for having me.
Like, no, we definitely got to get you back and do another
Yeah.
one regarding
for
health
sure.
because it's a big
Yeah.
topic, man.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
you know-
And I'm living it as well, which is a
No,
good thing.
it's exactly,
I'm actually living it.
Yeah, we're just preaching and
Yeah.
not following up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, just in regards to, you know, getting into the investment game, like there's ways around COVID, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
to just be suffering and thinking, oh, you know, I have to go back to work now.
Yeah, yeah.
There's ways around
Yeah.
it, and you know, you expanding your mind and going from a shop and using your resources and people around you and them giving you those options. It's about your network, of course. So yeah,
I'll just drop one last gem. If you guys, if to all the listeners, if you want to make money, you got to figure out a way how you can help people. You have to be of service, and you get paid for your service. That's it. It's really simple. And when a lot of people come to me with problems, I may not have the answers for you, but I'll definitely introduce you to somebody who's got the answers, and that's my introducer fee right there.
Yeah.
So money is not the problem, you are the problem.
Yeah.
And you've really got to just ask yourself, how can I not be the problem? Stop concentrating on money, concentrate on yourself
Yeah.
and your mind frame, and you'll be prosperous in life.
You know the
Salute, bro.
vibes.
Lit side.
You know the vibes.
Yes,
But yeah, we'll end it there, man. It's been a good show today.
Yeah.
For you guys who are not aware, please make sure to like and subscribe. Head over to litcapital.co.uk. We have got amazing mentorship programs which are very feasible. Okay, Jacob touched upon it in our first episode or maybe the second episode. I'm not quite sure, but it's just about value for money, and the value we're providing, guys, is untold amounts. I challenge every person watching this podcast to go out there and check who's providing more value than us. There is no one out there providing more value for the prices we're charging. That's a
Facts.
fact. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. I'm gonna sign out. You know the vibes.
Lit side.
Lit side.
Peace.
Side. And
Money
remember,
Every
Every
day,
day is
money
money
day.
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 I was early.
peace.
Peace.